What's up, YouTube? For today's video, we're a full Crocodile and Alligator team. Now, on the left-hand side, these Pokemon will see you in a while, Crocodile, and on the right side, the Feraligatr will see you later, Alligator. Do you get it? So these are all the Pokemon that are crocodiles and alligators. I picked 6 of these out of here and I put them onto one team. This really shows that we need more crocodile and alligator Pokemon. There's like hardly any of them. Today I've got a bunch of battles I hope you enjoy. First battle, this one is against Nathaniel. This is a random battle on the Poke Portal. Tell me who your favorite crocodile / alligator Pokemon is in the comment section of the video. Hope you're all having a wonderful day or night or whatever it is. What's the time for you at the moment? The time for me is 5:50 p.m. on Wednesday afternoon. All right, so we got a little sticky web leader here with Galvantula, and I've got a special Krookodile. So this set is hot trash, but it is pretty fun to use. So we got max speed and max special attack, timid nature, and I got sludge bomb, snarl, dank pulse, and earth power. This has got throat spray as the item and intimidate as the ability. So we're going to deal with that Galvantula pretty easily. And now we got the Glimora, so I can use earth power against that. I thought they may be running a focus sash, but they didn't, which was a little bit of a surprise. So special Crocodile takes out 2 Pokemon, which is really, really good. Now the next one to come out here is going to be Gudra, which isn't very good. Anyway, so we got a Dark Pulse, and I'm going to see if I can get some flinches here. So this is a speedy flinching set. Gudra is going to have that scummy water, and that's doing some really, really good damage to my Crocodile. So it's a 2-hit KO. So I'm just going to try and get as many flinches as I can, or if I can get any. And I got a Muddy Water Mist. That was really, really lucky. So Gudra is actually in range for me to actually get another flinch or maybe take out. It just hang on with like, I don't know, 5 or 10 health or something like that, and takes Krookodile out. But Krookodile nearly took 3 Pokemon out there, special Krookodile by itself. So that was very, very impressive. So our next Pokemon here is going to be Krookodile. I think I like Krookodile shiny the best out of those 2. I like the blue on its stomach. It's sort of like, I don't know, it sort of like sets it off. So this is a Moxie Choice Scarf set. On this one, I've got Earthquake, Crunch, Firefang, and Fling. Terra type is Stellar, max attack and max speed, Jolly Nature. So that's going to be then a Gudra, which is good. And now we got the Ursaring coming in here. I'm going to go for Crunch now. Ursaring is going to be pretty bulky. I knew it'd be able to lift that. And it's going to go for Trailblaze. So it's going to be increasing its speed. Then we get to see the Toxic Orb. So it's obviously going to be a Facade set, and it's going to have Toxic. I'd say it's got Quick Feed as well. So on top of the Trailblaze and the Quick Feed. So that's the end of Krookodile. It's going to get outsped there. So this thing's got +2 in speed, plus Quick Feet. So it's going to be very quick, if you know what I'm saying. Now, that's 2 down. We got some toxic damage here. So I thought might be able to work around that a little bit. We can get that toxic damage racked up a bit. So I'm going to go into Crocodile here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a hard swap back into Skeledirge, because Skeledirge is a ghost type, and use up a turn of Ursaring's poison. If you people enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button. It helps so much, right? If you enjoy the videos, you like watching them each day, or you're new to the video, please drop a like there. It really does help out a ton. So we got some extra damage there on Ursaring, which is really cool. This is a speedy, sweeping Skeledirge, but we'll get to that one in a sec. Probably one of the best sets on my team. So I did a double swap back there into Crocodile. This is also an Everlight set. It's a bulky Dragon Dance sweeper. So it is Dragon Dance, Waterfall, Ice Punch, Terra Blast, Ground, and Torrent ability. And I've got Everlight as the item, and we've got max attack and max speed, Jolly Nature. So I'm going to get hit by Facade. Look, I could have gone back into Skeledirge there, but I thought they may try and go for a coverage move, and I thought, Crocodile was more expendable at this time than, Skeledirge was. Regardless, Ursaring is going to faint. Now we're going to go into Crocodile. So Crocodile is a choice spec set. Now this one took a lot of people by surprise because of how hard it actually hit. It's actually a choice spec set. So we got a Muck Alola coming out here using knockoff. So that's a bit of a shame because that's going to power my overheat down a lot. But it still actually hits really, really hard. So that would have been, it would have been a 2-hit KO easily with choice specs, but definitely not now. And you know, especially with Muck having the leftovers too. I like Alola Muck. It's a cool looking Pokemon. So Muck doesn't really seem to have a lot to hit me with outside of Knockoff. Knockoff's not going to do much the second time because I already lost my item. So this was Unaware as the ability. Overheat, Hyper Voice, Terra Blast, Stellar as well, and Disarming Voice. I just thought I had like a fairy move. I thought it'd be funny to give it to it. But that's the end of Crocodile, unfortunately. Now I've got Skeledirge left. And I got one more Pokemon here. So we're going to go into Feraligatr. So Feraligatr is a special set, a PIMPNITE special, and we got max health and max special attack. This is the Ancient Power, Ice Beam, Surf, and Agility set, and I actually got outsped by a Muck too. I mean, I know there was Sticky Web on the field, but still, that was a pretty slow Feraligatr. So Feraligatr is going to go for Curse, and that is going to be the end of the Plasmas. Is that another like a name, another name for Muck, or is that actually a nickname? I wonder. Maybe it's like a French name or something like that. So we got the Iron Thorns coming in here as the last Pokemon. This is actually pretty threatening, and it's going to be setting up Dragon Dance in my face. So I'm like, all right, well, I went for Surf here. Will Surf be enough to take it out or not? I was running a special attacking Feraligatr with Modest Nature. It just wasn't quite enough to take it out, and it's going to go for a Supercell Slam, and that's the end of Feraligatr. So I've got one more Poké left, being this Skeledirge. This is a Flame Charge Throat Spray set with its normal signature move, Torch Song, and we got Shadow Ball and Terra Blast Grass. Unaware is the ability, max special attack and max speed Timid Nature, so a fast set. So we hadn't actually done our Terras at all, so both of us are going to be doing our Terras, and I had a feeling that they'd go for Terra Rock if they did have that, or maybe even Terra Electric if they did. So I'm going to go for my Terra Grass here. That's going to hopefully, well, I'm not going to be at least weak to a rock type move, and I've got Unaware, so I should be okay here in terms of damage. That was my thought process anyway before I was saving that. So they're going to use Rock Slide. Now, I was a bit worried here about a flinch, and that did a lot of damage. It did. I guess I'm running more of a sweeping set, so it's to be expected. And I managed to live that one, and Terra Blast Grass is going to go up. It's, you know. All right, anyway, that's the end of the battle. So that's the first battle. And we're going to keep this PG, all right? You know, we'll always do PG videos around here. And, yeah, that's the end of the first battle. Random battle. We've got like 7 battles today as well. Next battle here. This one is this is actually one from my stream, and this is against Chris. This is a random battle against Chris, and we've got a Pawmot lead. So I lead things off here with my Feraligatr. It's going to be paralyzed by Nuzzle, so that's a little bit of a pain. I actually went for agility this turn too, so I was trying to outspeed it, but I've got no hope at all. So I'm going to get hit by the close combat, doing some pretty wild damage to my Feraligatr. Feraligatr also, as an item, has Citrus Berry too. So generally what I try and do, I try and go for like Ancient Power, a couple of Ancient Power boosts, you know, to try and boost its special attack, because it doesn't really have any other way of doing that. So I went for a pretty powerful move there by Surf. Torrent Surf is actually, you know, pretty strong. So that's the end of that one. Next is also a Pawmot, so it's going to go for Double Shock here. I was wary too. I was like, are they going to try and use like Revival Blessing? I had an idea what their team was all about too, so you get to see what it's all about. So that's the end of that. Next Pokemon is Crocodile. This one is Choice Scarf, as mentioned. They're going to go for Quick Attack for some reason, and then I went for the Earthquake. I guess maybe that was their only priority move, and maybe they expected a Choice Scarf, because I did outspeed them too. So that's the end of Pawmot. So 2 Pawmots are down, and we're going to get a nice, fresh, juicy Moxie. Next Pokemon is also Pawmot, but it's not a whole Pawmot team. It actually isn't. So I went for that, and I'm going to take that out 1 too. So that's really cool. So 3 Pokemon are down now, and I've got another Moxie too. So +2 in attack. Now, the next Pokemon is going to be Malamar. So, like, well, Malamar should go down to this. It's +2, right? And Malamar had a Focus Sash. Of course it did. So, it's going to be a troll set because it's using Topsy-Turvy. So, Topsy-Turvy, right? I actually I had +4 in attack. Now I had, +2 in attack. And now I've got -2 in attack. So it actually swaps the stats around completely. So then I got another one back, but you know, it's a move you don't really get to see very often. Not that many Pokemon even actually use it. So in comes a Lola Golem. It's got that sturdy, and it's going to be going for a Sandstorm. It didn't actually attack. So I'm like, okay, I know exactly what they're doing here because I seen the team preview. I had a pretty good idea what they were trying to do here. So what they were doing is they virtually sacked off their entire team. They're not that had much of a choice there with the Crocodile, and they're going to stand in their Houndstone. So it's like, okay, straight away it's going to be a Last Respect set. So if you don't know what Last Respects does, basically, basic way, it gets a boost for every Pokemon that is being fainted. And that also counts for Pokemon that get fainted again. So you can use like Revival Blessing with the Pawmon. So I'm assuming that was what it was for. So for me not to get reverse sweeps here, I need to try and drop his attack and get some damage on this thing. So my bulky Everlight Crocodile only just managed to live that too. The reason they set the sand up because it is going to be a sand rush set. So it's going to outspeed every single one of my Pokemon. This team also lacked any real forms of priority moves too, since I was running like special Feraligatr and Crocodile didn't have anything like Aqua Jet. So I managed to get a Dank Pulse off there. Great damage there to the Houndstone, and it's going to finish me off the Play Rough, which is good. But I managed to get a couple of Intimidates off there, which was really, really good. So we're going to go to Crocodile now. This is the Choice Spec set, and it's also Unaware. It's going to get hit by Last Respects, and yeah, that's going to get cooked in one shot. So all I've got left is Krookodile and one other Pokemon. I thought the sand's gone. Here's my chance. I'm going to go for a Stellar Fling, only on PIMPNITE Shadow, right? And we're going to get that Choice Scarf KO, right? That was my plan. I thought this would be fire, right? So we got that Stellar, we got that Fling. It's all ready to go, right? But then, right, my opponent went for a Terra here as well. So I'm like, okay, I hope it's Ghost, right? Because that will be fine. Hopefully it's not something like Fairy. The moment I thought of it, it was Fairy. I was like, come on. So we've got Terra Fairy, and obviously Fling is absolutely not going to be able to take that out. No way. So it does like 1 damage, and I'd say from here they're just going to go for a Play Rough, right? Because I got that a bit of extra boost, and that's also super effective to Crocodile too. So that's the end of the Crocodile, but I still did have one other Pokeball left as well, and that was Skeledirge. Normally Skeledirge is quite a slow Pokemon, but since I was running Timid Nature, I actually managed to outspeed there and go for the Torch Song, and we got a fresh, juicy little baby bottle there. And that is the end of the second battle. Let's get a like on the video for that salty rage quit, and let's go on to the number 3. I don't think they like Skeledirge outspeeding their Houndstone very much. All right, this is the random battle. This is actually a pretty interesting battle. This one is against James. I think I did this yesterday, and they had a Probopass lead. Look at the damage Crocodile did with Ovi. It was very, very impressive. So now I thought they'd go for Stealth Rock, but they're going to go for the Thunder Wave, which is either here or there. Crocodile really wasn't outspeeding too many Pokemon. Anyway, now I'm going to go for Ovi, but then they went for Terra. I was like, what the heck, Terra? What sort of Terra is this going to be? So Probopass Terra into Dragon. So Dragon these nuts, right? Now, I went for Overheat again. I was like, well, I don't think they're going to live this still. Then they popped the rest. I'm like, okay. So, I don't know. That's Terra Dragon. I mean, looks funny, but it's such a random Terra. Anyway, it was interesting. I guess it worked for them, right? I guess maybe for Fire-type Pokemon, but, you know, it's still neutral being Rock-type. Anyway, so it's going to wake up there. I got paralyzed, of course, so I swapped it. I was like, all right, we'll use Crocodile later on. And then I went into Krookodile, because I thought Krookodile might be able to do something. So we're going to drop that attack, not that it probably matters, because it usually has a special attacker. Then it's going to start setting up Iron Defense. I'm like, okay, it's going to be some sort of body press set. This is actually quite bad. So I've got, I thought about doing Terra Poison here for Sludge Bomb, and to resist that, but I was like, let's drop its special attack. I don't know what it's going to do, but I'm pretty sure it's going to do body press. So I increased my special attack, and I thought maybe with the speed advantage, I might be able to get some flinches up here while they, you know, start setting up their Iron Defenses, right? That was my thought process at this point in the game. I thought maybe I should go for a poison. So I just went for a Sludge Bomb there. I know it was going to do little damage, but I got a poison. I was like, okay, awesome. You know, if something goes wrong there, at least I might be able to force a swap. But instead of going for that, they only had Power Gems. Like, oh, okay. So, I mean, I guess we've seen Thunder Wave, we've seen Power Gem, and we've had Rest. So, I guess there wasn't much they could truly do to me. So, now, since I know that, I'm going to go for the Dank Pulse. We got that juicy little flinch, and that is going to be the end of Mario with the dragon on top of its head. So I can use any move I'd like there too. It was surprising how useful Special Krookodile was, because a lot of people expect a physical one, right? Then you unload the special one. Not that it was a real hard hitter. It just worked well in some situations. So next Pokemon was Annihilate. This caused me a fair bit of issues. I mean, it's a very good Pokemon. Why wouldn't it? So I'm going to go for Dark Pulse. They're going to outspeed and go for U-turn. So straight away tells me that is Choice Scarf for sure. So they're going to be swapping and coming into Golduck. So you don't get to see Golduck very often. What do you guys reckon of Golduck shiny? Yeah, I guess it has a bit of a more orange beak, and the, what do you call that? The webbing between its fingers changes. That's kind of about it. And maybe the little circle bead thing on, I don't know what you call that, bead on the top of its head. So that's the end of Golduck. I managed to take that out with Krookodile, which is really nice. And now, obviously, they're going to bring back in the Annihilate and go for another U-turn. At this stage, I don't really want to swap out here. I mean, Krookodile did a lot more than I expected it to do. I said that quite a few battles, but it did a solid job there, so I was happy with the performance of that, and I thought I want a fresh swap in for this next Pokemon too. So the next Pokemon to come at it is going to be Dragonite. So I thought, oh, okay. Yeah, it's a shiny green one too. Come on. I wish Dragonite had a better shiny. Okay, I got a question of the day for you, right? If you could change Dragonite shiny, what would it be? I would like a blue or a black color. I reckon that looked really good. So I went into Crocodile here. Now, Crocodile has got Ice Punch. So I thought, look, it'd be a good idea just to go Ice Punch, because it's 4 times I might be able to break the multi-scale. And I got a Free Sack. So like, oh, that's awesome, right? So Dragonite is frozen solid. I don't know how it's still flying at the moment. I reckon with it should fall to the ground, right? If you're a levitating Pokemon and you get frozen, the Pokemon should fall to the ground, right? And yeah, so I don't know whether that was, I want to say that wasn't multi-scale. Seriously, I want to say that wasn't multi-scale. It was inner focus. But that's the Dragonite. I got a nice little Free Sack there, so that was pretty good. The next Pokemon, as we know, is going to be this Annihilate. I'd say they're going to try and do close combat again. I've got Ice Punch ready. I've also got Waterfall. I thought, let's go Ice Punch, because look, either one of my moves aren't going to do a lot of damage. So I went for my attacking move here. It went for close combat, which is fine. And I actually went for Waterfall for damage, right? And Waterfall does very underwhelming damage, as expected, right? So that's the end of Crocodile, and yeah, that crit didn't matter either. So it's still a bit of a problem as well, but now I know that they're locked into close combat. The coast is going to be clear for me to actually bring in either my Skeledirge or try Crocodile. So I thought maybe Crocodile should be able to live this, right? Actually, it should. It's max health and max special attack. Should easily live. So I went for the Disarming Voice here. Disrespect, right? They've had 3 close combats, so it's definitely going to faint. I lived the close combat here, and I went for the Disarming Voice, and I got paralyzed. So that one 100% mattered. There's no way Annihilate would have lived that. So they got very, very lucky there. That's going to be the end of my Crocodile, which sucks, because that was a bad sort of moment there, because now I'm going to be forced to bring in my Skeledirge, which I didn't really 100% want to right at the moment. I mean, it still was a good swap in, but I did want to bring it then. So like, all right, well, I'll go for Flame Charge, right? I'll try and increase my speed, because I knew they had Donphan, right? It's like, as soon as I bring this out, they're probably going to bring their Donphan in, right? So I'm going to go for Flame Charge here on the Donphan. Donphan is quite a physically, it's very good against physical moves. It's got good defense. And this one is also carrying leftovers too. So I thought, well, I say they're going to go for like Earthquake or at least a ground type move in general. I probably better go for Terra Grassy. I mean, I could go for Terra Blast Grass now and feint it, but I'd say it's going to have Sturdy, right? Because that leftovers healed all the damage that I did to him. So I thought maybe I could go for a Torch Song and then finish it off with Terra Blast. That was sort of, what I was thinking there too. So I've got that Terra Blast. I went for Flame Charge again after this, because there's one Pokemon at the last Pokemon I've got is also a very, very powerful Pokemon too. I had a couple of fun Pokemon, but they also had some sweat too, like Annihilate and Dragonite and the other Pokemon. So I had to make sure I was ready there. But I mean, I got out of the Dragonite pretty good because I froze it, but it was still the other Pokemon that I was quite, you know, concerned about too. So I'm going to go for Terra Blast. So for the Torch Song, I need to get that up with the Throat Spray. So double special attack boost. I'm going to need that. And I've still got, I've got Shadow Ball there for coverage. So now they're going to go for Defense Goal. Like, all right, they're going to have a rollout set, which is pretty interesting. So, yeah, so I was going to go for, this is actually, I believe this one is, yeah, this is Unaware as well. I was going to go for Blaze, but I thought I'll do Unaware so I can set up, you know, Flame Charge and stuff like that. So now I'm going to go for Terra Blast Grass. That is going to be the end of the Don Fan there, so which is good. So I've got +2 in speed and +2 in special attack. So out comes Annihilate. I feel with my speed boost, I should be able to outspeed it, but I still didn't because it was Choice Scarfs, and Skeledirge is a slow Pokemon. But I managed to live, which is really cool, and I've got Shadow Ball here, which is going to be able to, you know, easily take it out. I thought about going for Flame Charge again, but I thought, nah, I think the last Pokemon might have a priority move as well. Last Pokemon is, of course, Rayquaza. I was like, gee, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to one-shot this. The only move I've got is Shadow Ball. I do outspeed, which I expected to do that, and I didn't expect them to go for extreme speed either. I expect them to go for a Dragon Dance because they needed that, otherwise they're going to lose. And now they're going to go for Outrage, and that's a very, very powerful attack, and it's very fast too. So +1 at attack and speed, coming off Rayquaza's, you know, big attack status. Like, gee, I don't know about this one. So I went into Crocodile. As you know, this one is a Choice Scarf, but it doesn't really have very good speed there, so there's no way I'm outspeeding a Rayquaza. All I could really hope for was a Confusion, and I got one. I was like, okay, cool. So it's going to be a 50-50 chance here. Well, not almost 50, but it's going to have a chance here, right? So I swapped into Feraligatr, I clicked Ice Beam, and the Rayquaza managed to get its Outrage off, and obviously that's going to finish off Feraligatr, even a max health one. But that was a very, very close battle there. I guess really, the ones I had the most trouble with was Annihilate and Rayquaza. I sort of had all the other ones covered there, but a little bit lucky in the end. But that's how it goes, right? Next battle, this one is against Dark Master, and we have a Raichu. This is a random battle too. So I'm not going to write you a love song today. Maybe tomorrow, and we're gonna do a swap into Crocodile, expecting like Volt Switch, Thunder Wave, Thunderbolt, something like that. But I guess they expected it and went for Grass Knot. So if they did, good play there. I'd say they would have, because why would you go for Grass Knot against Feraligatr when you've got an Electric type move? However, I'm just going to drop them with an Earthquake and get a free Moxie. So that was a not too bad there. So the next Pokemon here, maybe I think I cut the Moxie boost off, but it definitely did get one. Arcanine's going to come in. Obviously, I knew they were going to use Extreme Speed, but I wasn't really concerned there. I didn't want to take another attack, so I decided to keep it in and sack it off. So I brought in Crocodile. Crocodile's got some bulk to it. It's got Waterfall. It's got Dragon Dance. I thought, well, I could use Waterfall. Will it take it out? It should get pretty close, right? So they're going to go for Wild Charge. I knew I'd be able to live a Wild Charge as well, because this thing is bulky with Everlight, and I figured I'd be able to live an Extreme Speed after this too. Judging on Wild Charge's damage, no way Extreme Speed was going to faint there, right? So I went for the D-Dance Waterfall, easily took out the Arcanine there. I probably could have done it without it with the 4 times, but I wanted to get some speed up, right? Next Pokemon's going to be Arachnid. Now, I can do nothing to this. This Pokemon is a pretty good counter for my team in general. I went for the Freeze Axe. Obviously, it didn't happen there, and they're just going to go for that. They're going to go for that big suck, right? So that's the end of Crocodile. I'm trying to think who my favorite Crocodile is out of these ones. I want to say I guess I'm kind of closer for Alligator, because I've used that a lot, and I like Gen 2 a lot. So I'd probably say either Feraligatr, Crocodile, or Krookodile. I'd say they'd be my top 3 crocodiles and alligators. Let me know what yours is in the comments. I always like to hear your comments and stuff like that. I like to read them during my my breakfast time, right? I reply to all the comments on my videos. It can be any video too, doesn't it? It can be an old one or a new one or whatever. All right, so we're going to go into Feraligatr and go for a Terra Rock Ancient Power. What could possibly go wrong here? And then it went for a Miracle. I'm like, oh no. So since I did such little damage, and Arachnids' special defense is absolutely insane, so Miracote's actually quite a good move on it, right? I managed to get some ancient power off here and take it out, which is really, really cool. And I got a boost, which is really, really nice too. So now Feraligatr is tanky, and it's going to be hitting really, really hard too. So that's sort of the idea of this set. I mean, is it unstoppable with +1? No, not with needs. Needs like probably 2 Omni boosts to be really, really strong, and 3 to be unstoppable. So in comes Hydrapple. I'm going to go for Ice Beam here, and that's going to drop it. No way that's going to be able to live that with a 4x Zeus. That's the end of Hydrapple. So things are going very, very good right now with Feraligatr. Next Pokemon is going to be Skeledirge. We both had a Skeledirge, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to go for this. They're probably going to go for Shadow Ball or something like that. So went for Ancient Power, great damage there. And they're going to go for Torch Song, but Torch Song's just simply not going to be enough to faint me at all. No way, I resist that, and I've got an Ancient Power boost too. I don't think they expected Ancient Power to do as much damage as that. That's what I was thinking. So that's the end of Skeledirge, and yeah, they've got one more Pokemon left, and their last Pokemon is going to be Mew. So for special Feraligatr, only on PIMPNITE channel, is going to be sweeping through their team. Now, I noticed they hadn't gone for a Terra yet, and they Terra'd their Mew into Ghost. I was like, okay, that's interesting, Terra. So Terra Ghost Mewtwo. So I went for Ancient Power again because, I mean, I was getting some pretty good luck there with the Ancient Power boost. So I just went for that. It did pretty minimal damage, and now Mew's going to go for a Shadow Ball. So like, well, I don't think Shadow Ball's going to faint because I'm max health, +1 in special defense, and it didn't, right? So I could get another one off there, and then they got the special defense drop. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm definitely not going to live the next one, right? So Mew also had leftovers on this set too. So I thought, let's go for Surf. It's got Torrent. It's going to be pretty powerful. Almost took it out. Very, very close. I guess if I had Terra Water, would have gone down for sure. So that's the end of Feraligatr, but that was pretty cool. Like the Ancient Power set was rolling there. Very, very nice for a special one. Now, next Pokemon is Crocodile. I'm like, what's the most disrespectful way to finish this? And I was like, let's go for the mighty disarming voice, right? So I managed to live that Shadow Ball nice and easy there, and we're going to disrespect that Mew and take it out there with the strongest moving Pokemon ever. And that is the end of the 4th Pokemon battle. Hope you're enjoying the video so far. If you are, drop a like there, leave me a comment, tell me your favorite Crocodile. Just leave me a comment, tell me how your day's been or something interesting's been happening in your week. I always like to read the comments, Alright, so this is battle number 5. This is a battle against Lychee, and we got a really cool team here as well. Let's see if you can guess what it is. So we got a Spidops lead. I'm so glad I did that Spidops team. Like, I did that about a week or 2 ago. I'm so glad that's over. That took so many goes. So I guess I still have to do a Spidops sweep though. That's the problem. I've been trying to do a Spidops sweep for quite a long time. I can tell you that. Like, mate, a little bit early after Scarlet and Violet's come out. So I went for Overheat here. I've just spammed that. It's going to be good against Spidops, and it's going to get the sticky web on the field. So that's the end of Spidops. Not exactly what I call the most threatening Pokemon in the world out the way. Now, the next Pokemon I come out here is going to be Volcarona. So we got like a bug team. The theme isn't, I mean, it is a bug team, but it's another like theme with that. Just thought before you write a bug team. So we're going to do a bit of a swap there. I feel like Crocodile is going to be, Crocorock is going to be, pretty handy later on. So I went to Krookodile, and now Quibberdance is going to be Volcarona's move. So even a weak bug move is going to hit me very, very hardly, like really, really hard, right? So that's going to get 2 Quibberdance up here. It's going to have a lot of special defense, and it's going to be hitting very, very hard too. I mean, this is a special attacking set. So I went for the Snarl. That's going to at least drop the special attack 1 stage, which will be useful, and boost my own special attack. So I thought maybe I could get some, some Dark Pulse damage off here, or a Sludge Bomb Poison. That's what I was thinking might be the, the best play here. So I went for Snarl again. I just changed my mind and went for Snarl, but it's definitely not going to live that, right? Even a weakened special move is very powerful. Volcarona is a very, very powerful Pokemon. So now we're going to go into Crocodile. Now, Crocodile, as they have Waterfall, right? So I can use that. However, they're going to swap out. I feel like they weren't confident they could one-shot that. And I believe I would have lived that, actually. So Volcarona swapping out, and we got the we got the Lurantis coming. It's got them pink pajamas on, you know, so I really can't do a lot here. I'm actually going to get dropped by a Leaf Storm. I believe that critical hit did matter too, because this is a very, very bulky set. So that's the end of Crocodile, but, you know, crits and stuff happen, right? So we're going to bring in Skeledirge. I thought this is a good time to bring it in. I mean, there's not much it's going to be able to do. So I've got Torch Song, I've got Flame Charge. I thought, well, I could go for Flame Charge to boost my speed, and then I could go for that, maybe. And we got a Terra here, so I'm like, okay, I wonder what this is going to be. It's either going to be, it could be Stellar, it could be Grass, and it's going to be Stellar. So Stellar's pretty cool on Lurantis because, especially if you're running like a mix set, if you've got like Superpower, or you've got Terra Blast, and you've got Leaf Storm all at the same time. So it's going to use that, and that's going to increase its attack and its special attack, because it's got the contrary ability. So it's sort of like a Temu Enamorous almost, right? But it has you know, access to lots of like Leaf Storm as well. So I went for the Torch Song, and that was enough to take out the Lurantis, obviously, you know. I guess that's the one thing about Stellar, you don't, you still keep your original typing as well, and your Lurantis has a lot of things weak to it. So in comes the Ariados. Good to see Ariados. You don't get to see it very often at all. I mean, I've got Flame Charge, I've got Torch Song, and it's got, I figured it'd have Sucker Punch or Shadow Sneak. That's the priority moves that it gets, right? So I thought this would be a good time to go for Flame Charge. Then I went for the Terra here, because I wanted to be able to live that, the Sucker Punch again, right? Because I was a Ghost type. So I thought if I go for Terra Grass here, I can live the Sucker Punch, and then I can go for Torch Song or something like that, right? So here comes the Sucker Punch. I lived that, which is not only just though. Ariados actually has a pretty good, you know, pretty decent attack, and Torch Song obviously is going to, you know, one-shot that there. So I got a special attack boost, and I got a speed boost earlier on. So I was trying to set the Skeledirge up. Now, the next Pokemon to come out here is going to be Low Kicks, and Low Kicks has a crap load of priority. So that's the end of Skeledirge. There's no point swapping out there at all. I would have, you know, that would have been worthless, right? So this thing could have Sucker Punch as well. I'm sure it does. And we're going to go to Crocodile. So Crocodile can easily one-shot this, and it can easily, you know, tank any real move this has, even a super effective move, right? So I lived that Axe Kick really nicely, and Overeat is going to cook that cockroach, right? Cockroaches are pretty gross. I mean, you could do a cockroach team or bugs. I don't think how many cockroaches we actually have. We got like, is it Pheromosa a cockroach? Pretty sure it's a cockroach. Anyway, so I'm going to do a swap out here because I've got a special attack drop. And Volcarona is obviously going to go for Quiver Dance. So I thought, let's go into Feraligatr. I've got Ancient Power. At least that'll be decent, right? And it'll be 4 times. So I got that speed boost. Volcarona is going to go for its a Quiver Dance here. So it's going to boost up then stats. This Feraligatr is fairly bulky though. So I know I'll be able to live a Struggle Bug or 2 here. And I'm actually able to live 3, so that's pretty nice. So now I can go for Ancient Power. Unfortunately, my special attack was actually dropped by the Struggle Bug, right? So now Volcarona is going to go for a second one. It's going to be able to, since I'm only running a special set. And I can hit this again with another Ancient Power. And I know it's going to put it into like a low amount of health. And, you know, it's definitely within range for my Crocodile to take out. So we got a Citrus Berry here. That's going to put it back to half health. Which is still okay, and Feraligatr is going to get, I did a fair bit of damage there, so that must have been a max damage there, or very, very close high roll. But anyway, so we got Krookodile here. Krookodile is going to be able to resist the attack here, and it's going to use Terra Blast instead, and I actually live that because I've got that unaware ability, right? And the Choice Specs Overheat is going to take out the Volcarona. So very impressive damage there too. And last Pokemon is going to be the Vespiquen. Actually, that's a good pick for Vespiquen, actually. So Vespiquen's going to go for Agility, obviously, priming to outspeed my last Pokemon. I went for Overheat again. I thought, well, I'm still at, I'm only at -1 with Choice Specs. It's going to do tons. And that takes out the Vespiquen in one shot. And that's the end of the battle there. So a really cool team there. Hope you guys enjoy that one. Let's go on to battle number 6. This was a really, really long battle too. So I had to cut out some definite long parts of this. This is a random battle too. I actually got this one yesterday. The team was very odd. The Pokemon, it was like a mix of some random Pokemon and legendaries too. So Electros is going to be their first Pokemon. They got their minty fresh Durex, and they're going to get hit by a Overheat. And Overheat does absolutely wonderful damage, but they lived on 1 health. So I'm like, oh, that's a bit of a shame. So now it's going to go for Bulldoze. So Bulldoze does good damage there. So it's got Thunder Wave and Bulldoze. So it seems to be a, it seems to be a bit of a support style set. But anyway, it's funny because Crocodile beat a lot of good Pokemon by itself, and just the damage output of Overheat and Choice Specs was a lot. No, I don't think a lot of people expected that, right? So that's the end of Electros. Next Pokemon's going to be Raikou, and it's going to go for Hyper Beam. Like, what the heck? So Hyper Beam is going to take me out. I was like, wait a second. Like, I know how bulky that is, so I think that's Choice Specs Hyper Beam, like from the damage that it did to me, right? So now I'm going to bring in Crocodile. I thought, well, this would be a good opportunity to set up a Dragon Dance here. Then I could go for Terra Ground. I was probably 90% sure that it was choice at least. I felt like it was more choice specs. So I've got the Dragon Dance up here. I thought, well, I'm not going to live a Thunderbolt, right? Well, I might badly live it, but I don't want to take that chance. Plus, this is going to be a good opportunity to go for Terra Ground, get a free turn, and then go for the Dragon Dance, right? And I'll find out if they don't go for Thunderbolt. I'll find out. But the Raikou, right now on this turn, I went for Dragon Dance, but instead of going for any electric type move on the Crocodile, he went for Hyper Beam again. So like, okay, that's definitely choice specs, and the damage it did to me, it was definitely that as well. Like I can tell that would have done a little bit less. So Crocodile is going to get another Dragon Dance up here. I may as well, because there was a couple of bulky Pokemon in the back there. So it's recharging this turn, and I can just go for Terra Blast Ground here. I was actually a little bit concerned they might swap out, but so with a couple of pluses and attack, Raikou is absolutely not going to leave that one, so that's good. But I'm in a position here to do lay down a fair bit of smackdown to the opponent here with all those Dragon Dances up. Now we got Miraidon, so I thought, oh, you're going to be Terra Fairy or something like that, aren't you? That's what I was thinking, like, but at least this will force the hand. Should I go for the Waterfall predicting that? I decided to stay in and go for Terra Blast, and I outsped them, which is really cool. So maybe they were expected to outspeed me there. I mean, Miraidon's a very, very fast Pokemon, but with those Dragon Dances, it was probably just enough to outspeed. So Miraidon down, great, Now, this is where the problems start to happen. This is what I thought might swap in before, right? Giratina with Levitate. I thought, man, that's going to have to swap into. Watch this, right? I went for Ice Punch. Look how bulky that is. Like, that is super thick, right? Now they're going to go for a Hex, and that's going to take out a Crocodile. So I thought, damn, I guess I would have needed Terra Ice to take that out in one shot. So this is definitely bulky. I can tell by the EV spin. I just know. So, and it's got good base as well. So going to Feraligatr, this was interesting. So we're going to go for Ancient Power here. They're going to go for Thunder Wave. So it's a Thunder Wave Hex set. I can see what they're trying to do there. Go for the Thunder Wave and then get the double damage or Hex, right? So I went for Ice Beam, and Ice Beam was not enough to take it out. I was like, damn, that's got some bulk. Then they used Rest. Now, they were very, very lucky that they're levitating, right? So they're not going to be affected by the electric terrain, and they're still going to be able to sleep with the electric terrain they feel. So that's pretty unique. You don't get to see that, too often. Maybe that was their plan too. I'd say that was their plan with Miraidon. You wouldn't be running Rest otherwise. So we've got my Feraligatr and Paralyze here. Now the problem here was they had Rest, right? But they didn't have anything else. They only had Rest. They didn't have Sleep Talk or anything, and they kept stalling me here over and over again, right? And I was getting paralyzed some turns. I was like, I don't know if I really want to swap here. I feel like I can feint them. That's what was happening. I'm just going to take a quick little drink here, people. I'm using some it's a nice big hit of some G Fuel here. Code SALT, and that's 20% off. Get yourself some of that. I'm having a fruit punch. Very, very nice. So if you want a nice quenching drink, try some G Fuel. Link in the description there. Got to use code SALT, So we're still going with this matchup here. Like, I cut a fair bit of this out too, like, the waiting times, and so even some extra like menus and stuff like that too. So they were just stalling me. What I think they were hoping for, looking back at this, they were hoping that I got paralyzed twice in a row, so they got off completely scot-free. and then they'd be at full health, and then they could go for the Hex. That's what they were trying to do, but it didn't really work out so well for them, because they managed to get a couple of ice beams off them before they even woke up, which is which is interesting. But this thing was a pain in the ass. I reckon this matchup between Feraligatr and Giratina went for a good 5 minutes, right? So now they're going to go for a Hex there, and Feraligatr is going to faint. So I got a bit unlucky before there. I got it paralyzed. I would have, fainted that. So I thought, all right, we'll go on a Crocodile here. I might be able to snag myself a KO here. So I went for the crunch on that, and it lived on 1 health. I'm like, are you serious? So they got a defense drop. They actually didn't go for rest here, and they went for the Hex. Hex is not very effective, so they couldn't, what could they do anyway with Thunder Wave? So I went for the crunch, and they're going to faint there. I guess they thought, well, they got as much out of that as possible, and they got pretty lucky there. So then came the Zapdos, right? So Zapdos has got some pretty good bulk to it. I don't imagine I'll be able to one-shot Crunch unless I get a crit, right? So I'm going for Crunch, and I packed a punch, and then I got static. I'm like, oh, come on. So that's a bit unfortunate. Then I had Rocky Helmet. So all right, there's a drink. Then they land a Hurricane. Like, all right, I wouldn't have lived anyway. So that's the end of Crocodile. So they're fortunate that Hurricane did land there. So next Pokemon is going to be Skeledirge. Now, Skeledirge, I'm going to need to set some speed up here. So I thought I'll go for Flame Charge, and then I'll go for the Torch Song, right? So I went for Flame Charge on the Zapdos, got my speed boost there, which is really cool. Then I got paralyzed by Static again, like back to back. I'm like, come on. Then they went for Thunder Wave after this. I'm like, bro wanted me to be paralyzed, right? So I was going to get paralyzed anyway. I was like, man, it is what it is, right? So now they're going to go for the Roost. They're going to go for that Roost there, and they're going to get the health back. Now I'm going to go for the Torch Song. So I got to boost up my special attack here. That's going to be very, very important. So I've got that special attack boost, and I've got that going nicely as well. So now they're going to go for a Thunder, and watch this BS. And then I got critted by a Thunder. I'm like, it's like everything is going their way at the moment. Absolutely everything that could be going wrong is going wrong. So all right, well, and they've got another really powerful Pokemon in the back too. So I've got my Krookodile here. I'm like, all right, I got to go for Snarl, right? Snarl misses. I'm like, oh, come on. Because I knew the Dark Pulse wouldn't feint it, and I needed that special attack boost for the last Pokemon, right? And I felt like I wouldn't be able to set it up against them. You get to see in a second. So I went for Snarl there. I got a crit, which didn't matter, neither here or there. It all mattered. And I got a special attack boost. What I wanted is trying to feint this Zapdos with some flinches, right? So now Hurricane, of course, is going to land, and that does a lot of damage. So at least I was expecting to get confused there. So now I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse on the Zapdos. Great damage. Zapdos, at last, my first bit of luck in this battle actually happened there, and I fainted the Zapdos. Unfortunately, though, my Krookodile has taken a lot of damage from that Hurricane. The last Pokemon is Ho-Oh. That Ho owes me money, and we're going to go for the Dark Pulse against it and try and get some flinch spam. So now they're going to go for a little Timmy Terra here. I was like, well, I'd say they're probably going to go for something like Terra Fire or Terra Rock, defensive one, and they've got the Terra Fire there. So I would have loved to have a Rock type move here, but of course I was running a special move. So I'm going for the Dark Pulse. I got a crit, which is okay, but then I didn't get a flinch, which is what I was going for. Now they're going to go for Sacred Fire, and that's the end of the battle. But man, I felt like everything truly went their way in that battle. I felt like it could have been a bit different if I didn't have those things happen to me, but still, it was a good battle. I hope you enjoyed that, and that's Pokemon, right? Some battles, everything will go your way. Some battles, nothing will go your way, and sometimes it's quite even, right? That's Pokemon for you. All right, we got our last battle here. This is a pretty fast one, and we have an Inteleon lead here, so not exactly a shining matchup here for Crocodile, right? So I'm going to go into the Feraligatr. I'm expecting a snipe shot, and they're going to use it. So Feraligatr is going to take that one fairly well. Now, this is pretty funny, right? So Inteleon, I thought, I'll use an Ancient Power here. They go for a pound. Yo, that reminds me of a pound bubble moveset I seen years and years ago. So they've got Snipe Shot, Pound, and Liquidation on there Inteleon. Man, I got to try a Terra Normal Pound Inteleon now. That's going to be fire. Focus Energy Pound with the Scope Lens. I can't wait. Terra Normal. It's going to be absolutely fine. So then I went for Ancient Power and I got a boost. I got that Omni Boost, which is really, really cool. Now, right, with that Omni Boost, I can definitely live Pound. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go for another Ancient Power there, and that's the Enteleon. So not a bad start there. The next Pokemon to come out here is going to be Delibert's cousin. So it's going to go for that Freeze Dry. I actually lived that, which is really cool, thanks to the Ancient Power and the Bulk, and I've got my Citrus Berry too. Man, Feraligatr has a good shine here. I like that. I like the green and the blue. Looks really good. So I went for Ancient Power here because I know it doesn't have a great special defensive stat, and that's going to take out the Iron Bundle. So 2 good Pokemon down there. Next one's going to be Iron Jugulis. I thought, well, Iron Jugulis is also weak to that, but I'll go for Surf, right? Surf does a great amount of damage. They're going to put like a crunch out there, and it didn't faint me. I was like, what? I was like, okay, well, I'll go for Ancient Power on again, and I got a boost. I was like, 2 boosts in a row. Did I just say poop a crunch out there? I'm not even editing that out. So I'm gonna get roasted with that. There's gonna be the top comment of this video saying I'm gonna poop a crunch out. So that's the end of Hydreigon's cousin, and now we got Hariyama's cousin. Man, this is a full cousin team. So we're gonna go for a Surf on that bulky Pokemon that is, and I actually fainted it, which is really cool. They're gonna bring this out. I'm like, little homie's getting swept by a special Feraligatr at the moment. That's 5 Pokemon down. Last Pokemon is Krookodile. Man, I almost said something bad there. That video wouldn't be PG. And now we got Skeledirge. So I thought, you know what? It's time to go for a Terra Rock Feraligatr. At least I'll be able to resist any's Torch Song. But I doubt it's going for that. It's probably going to go for a Shadow Ball. So here comes the Ancient Power on this Skeledirge. I've got +2 in the special attack. And that is the end of the Skeledirge. And that is also a sweep. Hope you enjoyed it, people. And the end of today's video. Hope you enjoyed the Crocodile and Alligator theme here. I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.